All right. So today we're talking about how to solve systems equations. So, like we said, solving a system. So a system is when you have two lines, two equations. Solving means finding the point of intersection. Inspection, which is dumb, and substitution, which is probably like the most important method you're going to use the most often. This is one of the most important skills that we do with algebra, at least this year. It's really important. It's a little weird. So, inspection's kind of dumb. Inspection's basically when you have a situation and you can kind of get the answer without actually doing a lot of math, almost like you just see the answer because it's so straightforward. The reason I think it's kind of dumb is because it's so easy. It's not worth doing because substitution always works. Most times, inspection's too hard to do. So in this situation, the sum of two numbers is 14, so that means x plus y equals 14, and the difference between the two numbers is 2. So I know it's going to be pretty small. Maybe it's going to be like 6 plus 8 equals 14. Difference is, oh, that's right. That's what inspection is you just kind of guess the answer and get it right just by using the clues in your head. So don't worry about that. Substitution, if we have y equals 5, we can substitute that and replace it with the number. We are going to do that, but instead of y equaling a number like 5, y is going to equal a binomial. This works the same way. This is going to sub in for y. It's really important when you replace y to put brackets. So in this case, it would be 2x minus x plus 3 equals 7. And then whatever the negative or the coefficient is going to apply to the brackets. So let's actually do this. It's only going to work if you have two equations. You must take one equation and isolate a variable. I like to isolate y usually. The exception to that is if you have like weird fractions and stuff, you can do x or y, it doesn't matter. So let's isolate y. I'm going to do it in this equation because y is by itself, so it's way easier. So let's take this equation, doesn't matter which, and make y by itself. So I'm going to make it negative y equals negative 2x plus 7. Just move the 2x over. I'm going to multiply by negative 1, so y equals 2x minus 7. Cool. So now I know these two y's must be the same because they are writing two equations like that. At that spot, it is xy. The y values are the same, which means that in this equation, if y is equal to 2x minus 7, in this equation, y is also the same thing. So I am going to replace, if this is equation 1 and this is equation 2, I'm going to sub, and let's call this equation 3, whatever, it doesn't matter, 3 into 1. Okay, so I'm going to write x plus 4y equals 17. Then I'm going to write x plus 4 and put brackets. And instead of the y, I'm going to sub this in. So it's going to be 2x minus 7. Now, don't forget, this is why the brackets are important. We have to rainbow out the coefficient. So x plus 8x minus 28 equals 17. Now we need to collect all our like terms, so we get 9x equals 17 plus 28. 9x equals 45, so x equals 5. Cool. Now remember, when we're trying to find a solution, that means we're trying to find the x comma y. A lot of students mistakenly stop here because they got an answer. I would say to you, you found the answer is 5 comma y. What's y? You don't know. So you need to take this number and sub it in to solve. You can sub it into this equation or this equation, whichever one you didn't just use right here. Don't sub it into that, it won't work. Okay? So let's sub it into this one because it's really easy to see. So y equals 2x minus 7, sub x equals 5. So that 5 that we just found, it's going to go into here. So y equals 2, 5 minus 7, y equals 10 minus 7, y equals 3. It's the answer. So that is my final answer. That is the point where these two lines intersect. Okay, so we isolated y in one of the equations, subbed it into the other equation, rearranged and found what one of the variables was, subbed that in and found the other one. Every time it's going to be that. You need to practice it until you can do it in your sleep. Now, sometimes it's going to ask you to verify. So the way verifying is going to work, let me just copy this. Okay, verifying is when you put your answers in to make sure it works. So technically in math, we're supposed to do left side, right side when we do this. I'm going to take that first equation on the left side, so the stuff on the left side of the equals, I'm going to write here x plus 4y, and the right side I'm going to put 17. The reason you don't put an equals in the middle is because you technically don't know if they're equal when you sub in your answers. So I'm going to put these answers in and see what we get. So instead of x, I'm going to put 5 plus 4, and instead of y, I'm going to put 3. This is still 17. You don't have to do anything there. So 5 plus 4 times 3 is 12. That's 17. So as you notice, when I sub the answers in, it gave me the same answer. So I can say left side equals right side. Therefore, x equals 5, y equals 3. Okay, our answer's right. If we wanted to be super sure, we would do another left side, right side, and check on the second equation. But I'm lazy, I don't want to do that. That's the basics. It takes a lot of steps, but it always gives you the right answer. So you need to practice how to do this and make sure you're comfortable with it.